As diplomats, our job is India's engagement with the world.
We are undergoing something known as the MCTP or the Mid-Career Training Program.
We are all fairly senior in the service, so we need to make sure that it's time well spent.
ISB was chosen because of its reputation of being the best in the management field, and therefore we have a very long association of 13 years with ISB.
The current program for the Indian Foreign Services is aimed at empowering them with the leadership capabilities required to create impact and expand influence for a new India in a new world.
We seek high-level input from ISB in the field of leadership, negotiation, strategic thinking, brand India and digital transformation.
India's foreign policy is now undergoing a sea change with a self-assured India interacting with the rest of the world based on its identity. Economic diplomacy, therefore, is a very crucial aspect of India's foreign policy. I covered the India story, both in the way it is evolving and the fact that India will be the fastest growing economy in the coming decade, and the way in which India's economic policy has been spectacularly good and positively different from the rest of the economies, even advanced economies.
I spent a day with our diplomats talking about nation branding. It was an excellent opportunity for us to exchange ideas, look at where we have come as a nation, exchange a few thoughts in terms of what others have done, and perhaps create some kind of a rough template of where we could go from there.
The day we spent with the Dean, that was rich in insights in terms of reflection on our own approaches to negotiations.
There is an entire body of research which is about it's 40-50 years in the making, and for them to know that body of knowledge is helpful, and that body of knowledge will then translate into certain principles. So what are the principles very broadly that I try to cover in the class and pitch a message so that I can get people to buy in? How do I use motives so that I can transform the hearts of people, so I get the minds of people with a message, and try and understand decision-making structures, procedures and rules, which so if you have control of the rules that you use to make decisions, you have control over the decisions that eventually get made.
As diplomats, we read a lot about artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, how it's changing the landscape of the world. But for the first time, and it's not just me, my other colleagues too, we actually understood not just the technical details of what all this means, but how it impacts not only the world of finance, business and transactions, but for governments, for diplomats who are dealing with the world and its engagement with India. We've had field visits to Dr. Reddy laboratories. India is known as the pharmacy of the world. How do we kind of enhance and boost this image of India? We also visited T-Hub, so the whole world of startups and unicorns.
We've had distinguished visitors like the Telangana Minister for IT. So these are also added that element of exploration to the training.
They all come to you, we exchange views. I think it has to be a part of the larger module which you organize. Classroom session, informal interactions, I think they work hand in hand together.
I think these are very important aspects of our work, but in our daily routines we don't give much attention to it. So it was a good booster shot in a short capsule.
Your mind sort of expands, it relaxes, it's not in the day-to-day. So that's the learning opportunity in a sense.
It's good to come out of the desk and in many ways I think reset and perhaps learn some of these things which have happened, or the concepts which have emerged in the last few years.
I think we're going back a lot clearer about what they mean to us, how the world is changing, what we need to do to prepare ourselves better.
When I walk out, I'm glad that these are our representatives in all these multilateral bodies. I'm really glad that these are the people who represent us.